listening and watching the He Say She Say sports show. How are you feeling, bro?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Super Bowl week right here. So pretty much. And then we got the Super Bowl on Sunday. So this is going to be a very exciting time for all sports fans, all NFL fans. Just a chance to relax and watch the baby GOAT versus the GOAT. How about you?
I'm geek, bro. I'm in a really good mood. Life's going good, going in the right direction. Quick, has nothing to do with sports, but do you believe in like when you see like a bunch of numbers consecutively?
Mm-hmm.
So like I've been looking up. I seen a meme of it the other day because I keep seeing either 111 or 1111,
Mm.
and so
Kyrie Irving?
I looked it up, and it was like it pretty much means you're on the right path.
Okay.
I was like, all right, dope. I'm feeling good. Life's great.
Right.
Life's great. But yeah, man, I'm excited about the Super Bowl as well. It's gonna be interesting. I know people are gonna hate me for this, but only if Tom Brady wins this game will he now be the GOAT to me, because he's still not the GOAT to me.
Anyways, no.
People hate when I say that, but I'm just like, fam, like even like the last game, bro, he played horrible in the second half.
So you're not gonna let that down, are you?
No, bro, no. Because then on ESPN, FS1, bro, they all on this nigga nuts.
Right.
Like, damn, like how are you? That defense, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like every other throw, they was on him, or at least like making him run, move. They was hitting him, bro, and it was just like fam. I don't really know what else this man is supposed to do. Then, along with, and people hate when I bring this up, but there was multiple holding calls or pass interference that just didn't get called.
True.
Like even before it was Lazaro on a slant, got grabbed here, and he's trying to run by and getting pulled this way. And I'm like, fam, that's not a call.
Right.
Like I could have sworn that should have been a call. Then Adams on the same kind of route across the middle gets grabbed across the hip, and I'm just like, nothing either. I'm just like, that's wild, bro. Then then Tom Brady gets the ball back, they get a first down, game's over. I'm just like, fam. So I'm like, when you get help from the refs,
anything goes.
And your defense is smothering.
Yeah.
And nothing you can really do about it. So,
but I have to give I give credence to the fact that when I look at a team like Tampa Bay, despite Tom Brady playing mediocre in that second half, I'm looking at what he was able to do against the front four or the front seven of the Washington football Giants, even though it was a team that wasn't supposed to be there, but they were there, and they have a very nasty front seven. Everyone kept saying, oh, this will be like the New York Giants Super Bowl that he lost, or when he lost them in the playoffs, etc. And he was able to, dice them up. But then the very next game was against a Saints team. He was able to get that win. He did have a touchdown that was actually called a not touchdown when Godwin, I believe it was Chris Godwin, toe tapped in the end zone, but they did not call it. And I thought that was controversial. So I think calls always go both ways, unless it's so egregious where you have like the Buffalo Wild Wing refs reffing the game. Then I'll be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But I say all this to say all that to say this. When I look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm looking at a team that I believe that they're the strongest team remaining. I think the Kansas City Chiefs have the highest octane offense based off of speed, based off of options on offense. But I'm looking at the Bucs. I'm like, they just beat the Packers, they beat the Saints, and they beat a very dangerous front seven of Washington, where I feel like the level of competition in the AFC wasn't as strong or as potent as it was in the NFC. And so we'll get into our predictions for the game and see if that holds any weight in terms of where I'm swaying. for who I think is going to win. So definitely let's keep our ears out for that.
Do you? I know we were just talking about it off air, but do you plan on prop bets?
Do I plan on making prop bets? Actually, I do. I'm going to try to make a prop bet on the sacks. I'm looking at a guy like JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's leading the team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in sacks this year. So I'm looking to see him be able to get around guys like the absence of Eric Fisher on the Kansas City Chiefs and be able to get to Mahomes. I feel like this is going to be a game where we're going to see a lot of rushing of Patrick Mahomes in terms of having to get the ball out quickly. You know what I'm saying? By both teams. I think both teams are going to have to get the ball out quickly, honestly.
But Tom Brady, once he got older,
he
started having those issues with his team being able to protect. They started getting the ball out much quicker. And then that's something that the reason why they took that step this season, how they look kind of horrid at times, to getting to a point where the offense is clicking, is because he started implementing more short, quick, two-step, three-step drop, get up out of here. And so with that, I think it's gonna be an interesting game, man. And for me, I think I was looking at these prop bets, bro, and I'm like, I might have to come up on some money.
Right.
I don't know, man. I can see it. Like in how many Super Bowls when there's interceptions thrown, is it like you look up and it's like, wait, that person had 2 interceptions?
Right. Like what?
It's got to be somebody that's on one of them. That's on the Chiefs order Bucks backfield, or like their DBs that's up for a contract. Because then that person's gonna ball out, yo. Whoever it is, they're gonna ball out.
Right. I was gonna add to what you were saying. I was gonna say, I think for our viewers is look to see. I think there's gonna be actually multiple turnovers in this game, and the reason why I say that is because when you look at the rushing, run game of both teams, right? You have a team in the Buccaneers that were never really a great run team all season because Bruce Arians' offense is predicated on pushing the ball down the field in a vertical passing game, and then excuse me, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, right? They had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but then he got injured. You bring in a Le'Veon Bell, who's there only for an insurance policy, okay? And this is a team that likes to air the ball out, hence why they're not great in the red zone, right? It's because they get all their points on that long ball to Tyreek Hill, on screens to McCole Hardman and going down. So I'm looking at teams with the Chiefs with a mediocre run game, and then what's the team? The Buccaneers with good running backs, but they don't run the ball because Bruce Arians likes to run the ball to ice it. So because of that, I think you're going to see Brady throwing the ball a lot more in this game, and I think you're going to see, unless he's smart, and you're going to see Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball, and so I think that's going to cause a lot more turnovers. What do you say to that? The fact that the run games aren't as strong, you know what I'm saying?
I can see it going one of two ways.
Okay.
Because I can also see Brady thinking, all right, if I throw the ball, I'm going to keep. Like, there's an opportunity for Mahomes to get back on the field.
Yes.
If I run the ball with these two studs I got back here that are playing well, like as much as people try to say, like, oh, Fournette is washed now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's been balling in the playoffs.
Yeah, he has.
And so, like, for them to have that two-headed monster, they could take the route or run the ball, deep play down the field, or some dink and dunk, mix it up and try to see what they can come up with. Or it can just be aired out. So I don't know. That's the only thing that I start thinking of ways of how it's not going to work. Whenever I start thinking about placing bets, but 2 interceptions or more, $100 gets you $750 in total.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking about being a little cheap. Put it at 50.
And can you tell our viewers where you like to bet on?
William Hill. I prefer the William Hill.
Okay.
App. I need to go down to the William Hill because I think it's like 5 minutes away from my crib.
Okay.
There's like this. I forgot what it's called. There's a Wildfire that's right here, but it's Station Casino. And I use them if I know I can't get down to the it's like Lucky something. It's like Club Fortune.
Lucky
Club
Seven?
Fortune. Club Fortune.
Club
It's
Fortune.
actually called
Okay.
Club Fortune.
Club
Club
Fortune.
Fortune Casino. And they're a William Hill. So I usually slide over there, or I go to Wildfire if I know I can't get there in time.
Okay. Yeah, me, I'm actually an online bettor. I know. Wow. I like to use my technology because I'm on the go sometimes. So obviously, with COVID, travel is a little bit different nowadays, but betonline.ag, the sign up is very easy. They have multiple different ways where you can withdraw your funds. They have really good prop bets. They have a lot of different contests that you can participate in throughout the course of the season. So betonline.ag is what I like to do for prop bets. I did that a lot for the NBA playoffs last year for a lot of different series. So it's really, really cool. And they'll show you the player trends and things of that nature. So William Hill, Ralph likes William Hill. I like betonline.ag. And we'll go from there. All right.
And so, like, when you start thinking about the Super Bowl, you start thinking about all these crazy moments. Do you have uh, a favorite moment or memory?
Okay. So my favorite, well, I'll go like this. I have a favorite Super Bowl. So my favorite Super Bowl of all time, right, is the 2000s Ravens Super Bowl when I was a kid. I got a chance to watch it the very next day. I wore my Peter Boulware jersey to school, number 58. That was a Ray Lewis Super Bowl. The reason why I liked it was because of the personalities on the team. You already know about that defense, man. We had Michael McCrary, Ron Burnett, Rod Woodson, Hall of Famer.
Yo, we played in New York that year. We had like a really good offense too.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But we had Trent Dilfer, that guy that was always on Monday night, not Monday Night Football, but the
Yeah, the
ESPN.
Dilfer dimes.
Yeah,
Hey, there
Trent,
were some dimes though.
yeah,
I did like that segment. The Dilfer's dimes. I did like that segment.
yeah. But Trent Dilfer, man, all he had to do was score 10 points, man. It was guaranteed. Yo, we get to the Giants. We get to the Giants. We beat the brakes off the Giants. 34 points, man. Like it was
And
over.
that team, the crazy thing, that year pisses me off. Y'all was supposed to play the Vikings.
Bro, I remember too. And that was bro.
That was what I want. That was what we needed.
Yeah.
One, we needed to see Randy in the Super Bowl in his prime.
That's what we really wanted to see. You already know it was.
Really? Yeah, I just wanted to see y'all guard Randy. I was just like, yo, I want to know how this works. Because, I think y'all DBs could have been had.
Right.
But, like, their front seven was so, like, y'all everywhere, yo.
Yeah. And you know what was crazy about that, Ralph? Was even as a kid, I think I was like eight years older at the time. Even as a kid, I didn't know how the Giants beat the Vikings. I had to go back and look at their team, but they had a no-name quarterback on their roster. It was Tiki Barber, man. You know what I'm saying? Tiki Barber. I believe Strahan was there. So it was crazy. But I was gonna make my last point about the moments. Yeah, my last point about the moments though was we all know about the 2013 Super Bowl between the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. Leading up to that game, I was working at a library, right? And all of my coworkers were 49ers fans. I was the only person born in Baltimore, from Maryland, diehard Ravens fans. They talk crap to me all week, right? And I'm like, okay. And they're like, we're gonna win. I'm like, I got Ravens. I'm confident. Yo, we come in. You know what happened? We are beating the brakes off the 49ers, and then all of a sudden, there's a blackout.
Right.
When do the lights ever cut off in the Superdome? There's a blackout, and I remember the commentary saying the Baltimore Ravens, that takes the momentum away from the team like the Ravens and allows the 49ers to warm up again and all that stuff. So I was really upset about that, man. I was really upset because I felt like that game should have been a blowout, and it wasn't. I know nobody wants to see a blowout, but it should have been a blowout. You know what I'm saying?
It should have. It actually got good after that. But
right.
It did get good. I'm not gonna lie though. As a fan of a team that's in the Super Bowl,
yes.
I feel you either way.
Right.
But as a person with no horse in the race, and I just want to watch some entertaining TV because we take so much effort and put it into the Super Bowl, it's literally a holiday. People don't go to work like the day after, or like the day before. It's like a whole event.
Yeah. People next Super Bowl Monday.
People request this day off.
Right. Hey, what is your moment? Did you break down your moment? What's your moment? And will the Raiders ever win a Super Bowl in your lifetime? So
yes, they will.
Okay, just had to throw that out there, bro.
And then, because even the Cubs won one in my lifetime, so like I feel like I'm good.
Ooh, I like that. That was nice. What you did there. Okay.
And so like, so for me,
mm-hmm.
I want to say, was it the Giants and the Patriots that played in Miami when Prince performed?
No. That was another Super Bowl that the Ravens should have been in. It was the Colts versus the Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although my family's team did not win.
Right.
like them kicking to
Devin Hester, he ran that joint back.
Hester.
That was only score.
The just the battle between the defense, Cedric Benson, Bob Sanders in the hole, smack ball comes loose.
Right.
And then watching Prince perform in the rain with his head wrap on.
Yeah.
Lit, bro. Singing Purple Rain in the rain. Oh, that's lit. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Now, close second.
Okay.
Janet
what
Jackson.
About
all I gotta say?
Okay, I was gonna say you didn't like the Legion of Boom unleashing the Legion of Doom on your boy Peyton?
Yo, it made them look so bad.
Hey.
But like the one thing about Peyton and a lot of quarterbacks is like when you're able to put pressure on people, they start getting jittery in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Tom Brady, like I've seen him throw like it was one of the throws. Oh, one of the picks he threw. He was he didn't even get hit. Like the dude ended up not even hitting him. But he threw that thing like so far up in the air. I was like, fam, he didn't even end up hitting you. Like you just threw that thing in the air and was like, let me get it out of my hands. If it's not my hands, he can hit me.
I feel you.
But,
yeah.
I'd probably say that or man, that first the helmet catch.
That was lit.
As far as just watching football, like the actual game, not take away the halftime show and the stuff that went into it, just the actual game. That was one. T.O. and him having like 12 receptions.
Yeah. See, you got a whole sports biography of games, man. I feel you, man.
Yeah. I can literally go through it. It's a lot, bro. I remember the first when the Panthers played the Patriots.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I had them like I really thought they was finna win, and then I was like, this Tom Brady again, bro. Much as I don't like him, he is clutch. I will give him that.
Right. You forgot one though.
So for me to say like, oh, he's a game manager. Probably the best game manager you can ever freaking have. Because like earlier in his career, he wasn't slinging the ball. He just was like run, smash all in the mouth, cool, dink and dunk. All right, cool. We got our point. He doesn't turn the ball over. And then he's able to move the ball down the field. And he's clutch. So it's like
and he had a defense too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but he really had a really good defense. And that right there is why I take him. I would rather have Peyton versus Tom, because I'm like, yo, the one time he had a good defense out in Indianapolis, they beat the Bears.
Yeah, but it was with Rex Grossman, man. Nobody even remembers it except for Prince. They remember Prince more than that Bears offense.
That's fact. That's fact.
I was gonna say my last point on this to add to what you're saying. I said you forgot one Super Bowl, man. It was the one when Lamar had like 350 passing yards, 200 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. Wait, that was Madden. My bad. I keep forgetting.
I was like, nigga, what? Lamar got to go Super Bowl?
No, I pray for that every single day, man. I'm like, please.
You ain't gonna never have that, bro. Just get that out your head. If he goes to a Super Bowl, he's not having 350
Yeah, man. I turned the sliders down, man.
Turn the sliders down.
Turn the sliders down, man.
He goes, you hoping he have a what was my boy's name?
I brought Ray Rice back, all of them, man. So I'm good.
Oh, what was my man's name that played at Texas? That was the quarterback for the Titans.
Vince Young.
Vince Young. You think he gonna put up Vince Young numbers in the Super Bowl?
You know, if we ever fire Greg Roman, anything with him is possible, man. Anything. I find it hard to believe that Lamar will go his whole season without throwing like 350. You know, he's going to hit it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Our offense isn't predicated on that. We feel that running backs and tight ends. You feel me? So, yeah. And it's not about the yardage, it's about the completion percentage anyway. But we'll see. We'll see. One day we got to fire Roman. But that was great, man. I love that segment of, you know, us sharing our favorite Super Bowls. Guys, you can also comment in the comment section Super Bowls that you like, your favorite Super Bowl moment. And we're always happy to, you know, hear those. So,
yeah. But, yo, who do you, so we can inch closer to finishing the story, whose legacy is this more important for?
Okay.
Because it'd be, for me, like I said, like as a person that I'm a harsh critic
right.
on anybody really. For me, as a person that will say after this, if Tom Brady wins, he's now the GOAT. If Pat Mahomes beats that person, I'm not saying it doesn't make him the GOAT right now, but I feel like that's got to hold some weight if you beat Tom Brady, and a lot of people already consider him the GOAT.
Right. Me personally, I believe that this will affect Patrick Mahomes more. The reason why I believe it will affect Patrick Mahomes more is because Patrick Mahomes is the one that continuously has more years to play. And so people be like, well, if he loses, well, yeah, but it's not about that. It's the fact that you're able to beat the best team in the NFC with the best quarterback, consensus best quarterback of all time, maybe not from a skill level, but in terms of a resume level, a legacy level, a psychological level. I believe that Tom Brady is able to galvanize his teammates, unlike a lot of other quarterbacks. You know, I think Joe Montana was really cool with that. So I think Patrick Mahomes. Another reason is because we're looking at Patrick Mahomes and the media, you know, over the last 2 seasons had tried to create some rivalry that doesn't exist between a Lamar Jackson, who's that's my quarterback, and Patrick Mahomes. Then you have a Deshaun Watson who's on a lesser team, right? But I feel like once he gets pieces, we know what Deshaun Watson can do. I've seen him go toe-to-toe with Drew Brees in a real game in a season opener. But I think now people won't even look at those quarterbacks, right, and be like, oh, they're like here and here. I think he's going to transcend. You know, Patrick Mahomes is transcending the game. We're no longer talking about Aaron Rodgers. So for me personally, Ralph, I think Patrick Mahomes has everything to gain by beating Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I feel like Tom Brady's Super Bowl is already cemented. And I also wanted to add one tidbit is we're seeing a lot of these old geezers, these old farts, these old pocket quarterbacks coming out in the media. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Tony Romo, coming out in the media. Then you have the old guys like Jeff Saturday coming out in the media talking about, oh, you guys are praising Mahomes too much. If I can sit up here and give that man credit for winning an MVP in his first full season like he's been able to do, for being able to perform at a high level in Super Bowls, being able to come back, et cetera, right? Then they should be able to give him credit. I think this Super Bowl is going to determine is like a traumatic experience for a lot of people if Tom Brady loses. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here to tell them Tom Brady has nothing to lose. Just let Patrick Mahomes shine. You know what I'm saying? Let Patrick Mahomes, let the young guys have their shine, because Alex Smith tried to do what Patrick Mahomes is doing, and he wasn't able to do it. So I think Patrick Mahomes has everything to gain from this Super Bowl. That's all I have to say. I have nothing else to say about that, bro. What say you?
I think it a lot. I think they both have a lot. Well, honestly, I feel like it's a win-win already for Tom Brady.
Yeah, I think he already accomplished what he was trying to. Well,
he has anything to lose.
Right.
But,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. But I do think if Pat Mahomes loses, like his like risk and reward, or like more to gain, lots of lose, it can go a lot. It can go very, very high both ways. And it's
Okay.
like he has everything in the game because it's like, all right, you beat Tom Brady, who's the consensus GOAT.
Right.
And it's not like, oh, you beat Tom Brady and he dragged his team to the Super Bowl. It's like, oh,
Facts.
you beat a really good team with
And a
Tom
great.
Brady. They literally, a lot of people looked at that team and was like, yo, if you put a good quarterback on that team,
Right.
like you could have traded Matt Stafford to that team and they probably would have been much better than they were last year. It's just like the quarterback that they had. Then you start adding a Gronk, you add a Leonard Fournette, a AB,
Scotty
and you
Miller.
already had Scotty Miller, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans.
Woo! Let me load up
And so
Madden.
it's like, and then on the other end of the front seven that I mentioned, as well as like the young studs they got on the back end, they just young, man. They DBs is young. But it's like outside of that, like you went to a loaded team and then you beat Tom Brady with that team.
Right.
And so like I think for him, he can pretty much fast track his way to goatdom, however you want to put it.
I like how you brought up the roster makeup and totality, and the fact that Patrick Mahomes is going up against a great defense. He's going up against Levante David. He's going up against a Jason Pierre-Paul, a Shaquille Barrett. Vita Vea is returning. Ndamukong Suh. Todd Bowles, who is a really good defensive coordinator. Yes, he's winning the Jets, but he's always had great defenses. So I like how you brought that up, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, man. I'm more of a.
He was the one that had that Cardinals defense looking good before he got that job.
Okay, yeah. Right.
He had a good Cardinals defense, and that's when Tyrann Mathieu played for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I was gonna also say, I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan, and I'm more of a Deshaun Watson fan than a Patrick Mahomes fan. But I'm giving our viewers, like, I'm objective. I know the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. Do I feel like he's the media's messiah? Yeah. Does it annoy me a little bit? Yeah. But I'm not going to allow the media, right, to dictate how I feel about Patrick Mahomes' talent level. I do believe his talent level is there, and we're going to see it on display in the Super Bowl, and we'll see if it's good enough. Who plays the better game come Super Bowl time? So yeah, I'm excited for both quarterbacks, honestly, both teams, and I think this is going to be a Super Bowl for the ages. I can't remember a Super Bowl since the 2013 49ers versus Ravens one. That was this great, So we'll see, because Peyton Manning was getting dragged against the Panthers, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, bro. I had to do it.
Hey, he still technically got that win, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's true.
No, his defense and his refs and the refs.
Yeah.
Because bro, that last, like before the Broncos scored the rushing touchdown.
Yes.
It was a pass to Ted Ginn and he got grabbed, blatantly grabbed, and they didn't call pass interference. I was like, damn, like, all right. Like, and Cam had finally at that point started moving the ball down the field.
He did come back though. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He did come back.
And so, like, in the midst of him matriculating down the field, homie gets grabbed on 4th down. Broncos get the ball back. They eventually run the ball really well, score a touchdown, game's over. But it's like, fam, like, and he had an opportunity. That was his opportunity. And then you don't call that. Now everybody thinks Cam is trash. And
right.
I was rooting for my boy.
Slid for that ball, man. Like, you had to slide for that ball. Like, you sliding in someone's DMs, you got to slide for that ball.
He's like, nah, I got to play next year.
Yeah. I'm like, but anyway.
I digress. To wrap this segment up, man, who's winning?
You know what? I'm gonna go with I'm about to say the Patriots, bro. Man.
Yo, that's crazy. Tampa Bay Patriots.
It's like I know. It's like I was like someone's working behind the scenes, but nah. You know what? everything tells me that the Chiefs are going to win this Super Bowl, bro. Like, I
Yeah.
just feel it. Like, that Beanie Siegel, once again, feel it in the air. That Phil Collins, feel it in the air, man. The Chiefs on offense, I just feel like it's a bad matchup for the Buccaneers secondary. It's a bad matchup for the Buccaneers secondary. But if this was a college football game, right? Guys like Vita Vea, JPP, like you know what I'm saying? Like that defense is raw. And so I told you, I know I don't want to be too long-winded, but I'm trying to calculate in my head. I told you last night, what did I tell you? I said I was watching the 49ers Super Bowl, right? And how Patrick Mahomes performed in it. Because he didn't have like a 400-yard game and all that kind of stuff. But one thing I noticed was, and I knew this all year, we all did, because I picked the Ravens and 49ers to make it last year. That front four was able to give Mahomes some type of problems, right? But Jimmy Garoppolo turned the ball over, I think once or twice. But he turned the ball over, and he made stupid decisions that I said Tom Brady, if he was in that position, he wouldn't make. So now I'm looking at the Buccaneers. It's a different team, but they have a good front four in JPP, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh. But then they have linebackers on top of the front four, something that the 49ers didn't have, and Levante David, and they're athletic, right? And then you have Tom Brady on the other end. I'm going to go out and I'm going to play the other side. I'm going to say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the Super Bowl, Ralph. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I like Tom Brady. I just feel like matchup wise, I think I think they're the most talented team. They might not be the best team, but they're the most talented. And I think that they're going to play up to a level that Patrick Mahomes hasn't seen in the AFC this year. How about that one? I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Bucks. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with either pick, but I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Honestly, I don't think you can go wrong with either pick because I really think it can go either way.
Yeah.
Because as powerful and like explosive as the Chiefs' offense is, the not the Patriots. See, I want to say the Patriots too. The Tampa Bay Patriots, man, their offense is nasty, but the Buccaneers, their offense is just as nasty, and they probably have a better too.
Yeah.
So, like, for however strong and fresh Mahomes' arm is compared to Brady's, they also have a running game that the Chiefs don't even try to use.
Right.
So, like, I think it could go either way. But, like you said, as much as I am a Raiders fan, every part of me just says the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah. I feel you, man. Like, I feel you. Like, I still believe. So, like, the team you're picking versus a team like you're feeling, which usually is like just go with whatever your gut's telling you, right?
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think that the combination of the offense and the defense, but then you look at the old tight end and the old quarterback versus the new best tight end versus the new best quarterback, just go with the Chiefs.
Right.
And then you're going to look at special teams and coaching. But then again, I kind of like Andy Reid over Bruce Arians.
Yeah.
And I like Steve Spagnuolo, but I like Todd Bowles more.
Yeah.
And then Byron Leftwich, I don't really care about. No offense, but I'm just because I've seen him in I think Pittsburgh. I think if Tom Brady has commanded the offense, AB comes back, he can dink and dunk. But then again, the Chiefs have the continuity, man.
Yeah. Like
That's
they know
tough.
where everybody's gonna be at on the field.
Right. We're just like people watching, like they're probably, I mean, I'm sure there's people who are already like, man, Chiefs are gonna win automatically or Bucks are gonna win automatically, but it's tough, man. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Bucks only because I got a sweet tea bet with my dad about it, and I said that the champion was coming out of the NFC, so I'm gonna go with the Bucks, and I believe that Tom Brady's not going to, having lost the Super Bowl against Philly before, I don't think he's going out with another L. So we'll see. I'm gonna go with the Bucks. Are we doing score predictions as well?
You give your score.
I'm gonna go Bucks. Bucks 40. 41 to 38. Bucks 41, 38.
I'm gonna go the other way, but it's gonna be 31 Bucks, 34 Chiefs.
Okay, there we go. There we have it. There we have it. Those are our predictions.
Yeah. Give us your predictions as well. And so we're gonna transfer over or transition into the NBA. A lot of hateration and holleration. And it seems like Shaq is I don't know, bro. I don't know if did you see what Shaq said to Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell. I did see what Shaq said to Donovan Mitchell. And I want to preface my comments with saying, like, when we talk about the Shaquille O'Neal, bro. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. But definitely want to preface our comments. Yeah. When we're talking about a Shaquille O'Neal, we're talking about a guy who has a Hall of Fame resume, 4 rings, he had Miami Heat and then three-peated with Kobe Bryant with the Lakers. So he has a leg to stand on when he provides criticism of guys. But believing that someone can't take it to the next level, it depends what he means by next level. I think with Shaq, when he's talking about people performing and getting to the NBA Finals, I have no problem with comments such as that. But if he's talking about, like overall skill set, Shaq wasn't the most skilled. If he's talking about work ethic, Shaq was notorious for coming into the camp out of shape and lazy. So I think as long as the criticism is about just elevating your game to a level and elevating your team, I think that criticism is actually warranted, right? But also it depends on how you say it. If you're saying something in a demeaning manner, then I have a problem with it. But I do feel like Shaq is very sensitive. Actually, I know he's sensitive. I know he's a very sensitive individual. And so knowing that he's a very sensitive individual to criticism of his own game, for him to sit up there and criticize someone else's game, he just has to be able to take any dishing back from a Donovan Mitchell or anybody like that. But Donovan Mitchell, he was composed. He took it. He said, okay. He didn't throw any shade on IG, social media after that. So I don't think he really had a problem with it. I think he took a mental note of it as something that he can kind of put a notch in his belt if he's able to elevate the Utah Jazz. And currently the Utah Jazz, well, they were on an 8-minute, not 8-minute, but an 8-game win streak. You know what I'm saying? Before they lost to the Denver Nuggets. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Did you take it as a slight toward Donovan Mitchell initially? And if so, did your opinion on it change, if at all?
No, like I look at it because I watch that show a lot.
Yeah.
I believe is it Inside the NBA?
Inside the NBA, yes, on TNT. Yeah.
I don't look at it as I see where Shaq comes from a lot of times, and I think he puts too much emphasis on winning a championship. But I get it.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes we're like Chuck wasn't no slouch. So like I hate how he treats him sometimes when it comes to not winning a championship. Because like then it's like it gives an opportunity for people that don't play to look at like, yeah, Chuck was trash. Like, wait, well, we're not gonna do that.
Right.
It's like they call him 6'6", but a lot of people argue that he's 6'5". For him,
I think he's 6'5".
In the 80s and 90s, where the big man was like a legit big man, and he played at 6'5" and never averaged less than 10 and 10. And even as heavy as he got out of shape when he was like 36 years old, he still averaged 10 and 10.
That is correct. Right.
Even as a rookie, he averaged. Even then, he averaged 10 rebounds a game as a rookie.
Right. Which is
double figures. He was 10 and 10 his entire career.
Yeah. And a slower paced era too.
Right.
So imagine if he was in this inflated era. And to your credit, because I know Charles Barkley is a favorite player of yours. He's also more skilled, individually skilled all around as a player than Shaq. But Shaq always uses the ring argument, which is a team accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? So and
like I'd have a few rings too if I played with Kobe.
Right. And they both had an MVP. I think a lot of people forget that Charles Barkley won an MVP in a year in an era where Yeah, in an era where MJ was in his prime. So yeah, I just feel like Shaq just has to make sure he's cognizant of certain criticisms he dishes out and ones that he takes from his peers. So yeah, but I didn't have a problem with it as well. I agree.
I didn't either. I was hoping that the comments that like KD and LeBron and Dame came out wasn't directed at Shaq,
Uh-oh.
because I not that I'm like oh Shaq will mess somebody up, but like nah, like I just was like I don't want to see these dudes arguing over something so petty.
Yeah,
especially with what's going on right now. Like
exactly.
we're in a pandemic, and y'all arguing about whether or not Donovan Mitchell can take it to the next level. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
Like, I think at the end of the day, that's your job. So you got to interview the man and give him your opinion. But like, I really like as far as the social media stuff after it, it's like it's not that big a deal. But I get it, like, because I do think there is a certain level of like hate versus criticism. Because I look at it like this way. Like, I do think like when you're critiquing someone, part of the critique is to like tell you what you don't like and why you don't like it. So it's like when you're just telling somebody, "Oh, you're trash." Well, how's that person trash?
Right.
Like, well,
right.
They just trash. Like, nah, son. I need you to like tell me if you're gonna try to tell somebody this is a critique.
My game.
That this is your job. You
Right.
should be critiquing my game, not just telling me, "Oh, I don't think you got to take it to the next level." And then if we would really have a conversation about it, like what should I do, or what should I add? Because it's like really when you think about it, think about Donovan Mitchell's game. The only thing you could possibly say is maybe effort on defense.
Yeah, effort on defense. And then effort on defense. Maybe incorporate more of a post game as well.
Yeah.
Because something that D Wade was able to excel at. Because I know a lot of people kind of compared his game to having shades of Dwayne Wade coming out. So I think maybe improving in the low post area, getting easier shots close to the basket. Unfortunately, Rudy Gobert is not a 3-point specialist. He can't hit the three like an Embiid can. But finding ways to get more closer looks to the basket. But yeah, I agree with you. And I was going to also ask you, because I know you brought the topic, but touch base on the Kevin Durant and LeBron James topics, or should I say LeBron James comments on Instagram. And I actually have the quote here regarding the criticism. It said, "Why are young players so sensitive when the OG legends give them constructive criticism? When did the respect level change?" And King James, LeBron James, he replied, "There's a difference between constructive criticism and soft hating, though. I've seen it both ways come my way, mostly the hate. You can hear it in their delivery." And I believe it was Kevin Durant that mentioned that, they get enough criticism from their coaches already. How do you feel about KD's and LeBron's comments about that in terms of getting it both ways and soft hating, from the old heads?
So like KD,
Were they sensitive?
Like LeBron, I get 100% from LeBron.
Right. Because
as really when you really truly think about it, the way that people treat LeBron, it's like I'm winning at a high rate. Regardless of me actually winning the finals or not, I'm winning at a high rate. And I've been doing this for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still like playing better than some people that's 25.
Ooh.
And so like for me, like I do think that some of the criticism that he gets, it's like yeah, man, these ribs was bomb, but you ain't have to have them falling off the bone like that. Like, nigga, what?
Right. Nitpicking.
It's like you're nitpicking everything, and it's like, yo, just enjoy this man's greatness and let him do what he do, especially once he got to a certain point, because they were still criticizing him like, oh, he ain't got no jumper. Like, I do understand, like, yeah, you do gotta get there, but it's like, or then he got a jumper. It's like, oh, he ain't got no one dribble pull up. Like, wait, what? Come on, fam. Did you say I had no jumper? I make threes. Now it's something else you need me to do. So it's like I do think at a certain point there is soft hating, and then there is criticism. And so, like, I do see I know where Shaq is coming from because I watch him so much. And so, like, I just think for him it was a challenge. He's just challenging him. Like, yo, I don't think you can do it. As a person that's done it, I don't think you can do it.
I
And
feel
so,
you.
so I look at it that way. And then the stuff that KD says. At the end of the day, social media, one thing that we got to realize as people, if you're going to post on social media or like just be a person that is in the public light and then have a Twitter platform or a social or a Instagram, Facebook or whatnot, you're gonna have to take on the fact that people will easily be accessible to you. Or you'll be as easily accessible to people.
Right.
So there's measures you can take to protect yourself from that. But when you're a public person,
Yeah.
everybody got an opinion. And people don't realize that not all of their opinions matter.
Right.
So, as a person that like, I don't care what you think, I'm gonna say what I got to say. I understand the stuff that that gets put out in the world, but it's like at a certain point, some of it is disrespectful. But
Right.
like to be like, oh, I don't want to hear no criticism. Like, fam, I get enough criticism for the coaches. Like, nah, bro, I got an opinion.
Right.
You should eat more cheeseburgers. You're too skinny. Like, I don't. It's
Yeah.
it's like
people
are going to give their opinion no matter what. And it's like, as a person that's going to be in the public, like now, I'm putting myself in a public light possibly with us doing these videos and going live. Now, like somebody happens to recognize me or like got something to say to me in the comment section that's negative, hey, you got to take the good with the bad.
Right. That's true. And I think when you look at a guy like Kevin Durant, someone who's was exposed for using burner accounts, right?
Yeah.
He's a great player on the court, but off the court, and he's a great guy off the court, but off the court, as it pertains to social media, he's someone who's been exposed for using burner accounts, so he's very sensitive. I even said before he went to the Golden State Warriors, I was actually said that. Remember when Kevin Durant started kind of acting more nasty and doing this and all this kind of stuff, like as a personality wise, it was because he was having an identity crisis. He wasn't sure if he was going to be nice, humble Kevin Durant or the villain like that villain role that LeBron played in Miami, right? And this is actually even before he got to the Warriors. I think it was like his last year in OKC. You started to see it, and I think he's always been sensitive to criticism from anybody. And what I would do if I was Kevin Durant, and I am not Kevin Durant, nor am I saying that I'm on the skill level of Kevin Durant. That's a completely different league. But I'm just saying in terms of how to communicate with social media is do what a Kobe Bryant would do. Don't do it, or do what Paul George is now doing. Paul George, he still has an Instagram account, but he's not going back and forth with people. He's not going back and forth with players. He's locked in. He told you what he was going to do during the season and just go to work because there's certain people in this world that don't matter to you. You know what I'm saying? And so I agree with what you said wholeheartedly. And Kevin Durant just stay locked in. He doesn't need to piggyback on that. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron James, we already know his greatness level, and he can do and has done and will continue to do things the other players before him and even coming after him can't even fathom or might not ever achieve. So I think LeBron James is perfectly fine. And I think I don't even like calling it criticism, but I think maybe he can get feedback from his coaches or something like that, at this point in his career. So yeah. That's
But
what
honestly,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't. The one thing is, I don't know. I just got a problem with the sensitivity of KD.
Yeah.
And then I don't have any problems with Shaq or what LeBron said. But to take KD and bring him from one conversation to the next, the Brooklyn Nets offense is performing at a high clip, but as bad or as dope in how high a clip this offense is performing at and efficient, the defense is the exact opposite. So although you'll score 146, you'll lose 147.
Right.
So like, do you think that this is just like this is gonna take them some time to gel, and then the defense will get to a certain point that like it's a bend don't break, or do you think this is gonna be an Achilles heel?
I think this is the Achilles heel. I actually believe this is Achilles heel. I won't use the word think. I believe this is Achilles heel. First and foremost, I would like to let everybody know that I was a huge advocate of just the Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving led Brooklyn Nets. Okay. This is before the trades, though. So if you look at their record, right, they're 3-4 with just KD and Kyrie. But then I think they have a winning record with James Harden. Well, people are like, so why were you an advocate? Well, you have to understand this is a Karis LeVert. This is a Jared Allen, right? So you have those guys and others on that team, and that's when they were, performing, et cetera, et cetera. So I thought that blend was good. Now you have James Harden, who you have to ingratiate in, and you've sold out so many pieces to ingratiate James Harden, and so now your defense is suffering. You lose a young stud like Jared Allen, who is a great interior defender. You lose a Karis LeVert, the length of Karis LeVert, 6'6". You lose other guys. You don't have Spencer Dinwiddie. So let's just state that this team is different now, guys. Remember, this is a different team. It's not just, they added James Harden. No, there's pieces that they left. So now you have a team that has a James Harden playmaker, a Kyrie Irving playing off the ball, and a Kevin Durant. Out of those three people, who is the best defender? Kevin Durant. Who was the second best defender? James Harden, because we saw him put forth an effort last year defensively, including in the playoffs where he came up with a, I believe, block, right? I think it was Chris Paul. And then he was able to get the ball to go off his foot or whatever. So we know what James Harden could do.
Oh, that was Dort.
Yeah, Dort? Okay. Excuse me. And then you have Kyrie Irving, who doesn't have the physical stature, right, to stay in front of the bigger bodied individual players. So he's going to be a weak link along with James Harden if he doesn't put forth the effort. And then you don't have anything back in the interior. You hope that DeAndre Jordan can perform at a high level, but he's not being consistent. So I believe that this is a 2K team now. This is not the Golden State Warriors. It's not that the players are bad, but what made Steph Curry so great was he could play off ball. What made Klay Thompson so great, while he might not have the bag of a Kyrie Irving, and they're both actually efficient. I know Kyrie makes crazy shots. His whole entire career, he's been efficient, right? But not Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson was a two-way wing who's been robbed of multiple all-defensive teams, but we know him as a two-way wing. Then you have a Draymond Green, who is a defensive player of the year. You had a Kevon Looney. You had an Andre Iguodala. So now you have a completely different team. You have scorers, but they don't even operate off the ball, and they don't defend as a team. The Golden State Warriors, under the tutelage of Mike Brown and Steve Kerr, they were able to get that team to play team defense, but they also had the requisite pieces. This Brooklyn Nets team doesn't have the requisite pieces, nor do they have the requisite coaches. They have Mike D'Antoni, who there's no D in Antoni, right? He doesn't believe in defense. And you have Steve Nash, who stole MVP awards from the late, great Kobe Bryant and had no defensive impact. You feel me? I had to put that out there. He stole. It was a travesty. It was the greatest atrocity on film. So, therefore, what do you expect? Do you expect them to be like, our formula is going to go out and lock people up? Hell no. So I do not believe they're going to improve their defense. This is what they are. This is what they're going to be. They're going to try to outscore you. That's what D'Antoni's been for his whole entire career, and hope that works. That's all I had to say about the Brooklyn.
That is insane because he literally does the same thing.
Yeah.
For like 15 years.
Right.
It was a new result.
Yeah.
Like, fam. But yeah, like I don't know. I think they can figure it out, but they gotta hope that around like the trade deadline, if there is one.
Right. No, it is. I'm like, when's the trade deadline?
I don't know. Not if, but when it is, because I know that the All-Star game, I seen that the All-Star game was being moved, or they're thinking about March 7th. So
don't forget to vote, guys, for the All-Star game.
Yes, vote for the All-Star game. And hopefully we'll talk about that later. If not, we'll talk about it on the next episode. But to go back, like he's just hoping for a new result, or like just being insane, and it's like maybe they'll be able to get a buyout to help the defense. Maybe they'll get some more defensive help. Maybe they'll get an actual 4 instead of trying to put KD at the 4.
Right.
Because I don't think he likes playing at the 4, but he'll do it.
It's a mismatch for KD, or we're not mismatch for KD, but mismatch for defenders, but he has to defend the Giannis's of the world and things like that. I agree. Yeah.
And so, like, I think that they'll be able to do that, but I don't know, man. I think that the defense could get better because it's like, it's not that Kyrie can't play defense unless like he gets matched up against a bigger guard. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
he's not a big guy, but it's like he has quick hands, so he shoots pass, he plays passing lanes pretty well.
Right.
It's
And
pretty
Steph
much
Curry could do that too. He was
right.
like Steph Curry's like a 2-time steals leader.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
like I
He has
think
to
that it
on
can.
that.
I think that it can work just from but it just people got to be putting in effort, which
Right.
I'm kind of curious because we all know like when you get to the playoffs, it's like another level and another level of focus too. So like I just don't see Kyrie going into it and not putting effort into the defensive end.
Right.
Because if you have any type of IQ, you know, regardless of how many buckets you can get, you got to get some stops.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, like it's from a pride factor. Like I'm not just gonna keep letting you get 2 so I can get 3.
Right.
I'm trying to get 3 while you get 0.
But I will say,
and so like with that, to close out my thoughts on it, I just think I don't know. I think that the Nets will figure it out.
Yeah.
And that I do think that the Achilles heel will end up being the defense. Because I think that with James running the point and Kyrie and KD being off ball, I think that's working. Obviously,
yeah, that's how it should have been. Yeah,
like that's obviously it's working. Look how many points y'all putting up.
Right.
And it's like when you look, nobody's shooting a bunch of jumpers. It's like an efficient amount of points being scored, like and buckets being made. And so it's just the defensive end. So I do think that eventually it will be whoever they lose to is probably gonna have something to do with the defensive end.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say I think one thing that they had to be cognizant of is the fact that when you have a guy like Kyrie Irving who's playing well, mind you, because people want to always throw him under the bus, but it's not defensively because that's not his thing. But he's been extremely clutch. He's been coming up in clutch for these games. What I was going to say is guys like a Harden, guys like a Kyrie Irving can get easily lured into battles on the court, offensive battles, especially when you're not able to get defensive stops. So I think that's also expends a lot of energy. I think they all expend a lot of energy, especially when James Harden is not playing games with him, when he can do the injury, etc. I think that causes KD and Kyrie to expend more energy as the primary scorers on that team. And so therefore they're not always going to expend energy on defense, or they'll have defensive lapses. So I agree with you. I also believe that it's going to have to be from a player standpoint, because you know that a Steve Nash and a Mike D'Antoni are not going to coach it in the locker room. They're not going to coach it before games, and they're not going to coach it before timeouts. You know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So I believe that that's going to be their Achilles heel for the season, and continue to be their Achilles heel for the season. Anytime you're giving up over 130 points per game, that's never good. So that's I'm in agreement with you, and that's where I'm at with that.
All right. So thank you all for watching. That was a great episode once again. We are now officially on YouTube. So just hit the subscribe button. But you got to type in the space bar. He say, she say, all one word, sports show. And hit the subscribe button. You can catch me on Instagram at KYNGRALPH. You can catch the podcast or the sports show on our Instagram page as well. Same thing. I think it's just the He Say She Say sports show.
And you can catch me on Instagram at the.houseofhoops. That's the.houseofhoops. Basketball player highlights, team analysis, the whole nine. I also like to do player of the games, guys who impacted that game. So definitely check that out on Instagram.
Hey, before we go out, who's going to be your MVP of the Super Bowl?
Oh, the Super Bowl? Oh man, if the Bucks win, you already know what's going to be. So yeah, there we go. TB12. It always goes to that quarterback, man. So
I low key want to place a
not going to be Fournette,
a defensive player.
Oh yeah. No, it could definitely be a defensive player. I think Brady would have to stink it up. It could happen though. We'll never know.
Yeah, you never know. But
yeah,
thank you all for watching. Bye, y'all.
All right. Peace.